Hello, come on in. Just pour yourself a coffee and sit down and join us. My name is Bob,
I'm Doug.
and we're here to tell you some stories in Firehouse Stories. Doug and I are both career firefighters, as were our fathers. And over our lifetimes, we've talked to many people about our jobs and about doing things on the job and behind the doors after the department doors go down and the trucks are backed in. So this is where we're going to sort of share a few, and down the road we're going to bring in other people to help share. So do you have any stories, Doug?
I just so happen to have a story or two, Bob. Would you like me to share one?
Well, yeah, we may as well talk about one today.
You got to realize that our humor that we're putting in this is firefighter humor. We refer to it as firefighter because we see a lot of gruesome stuff. We do a lot of bad stuff that would really weight us down, and we don't want to get that way. So we just keep firefighter humor going.
I got in trouble today using firefighter humor on a blog.
Did you?
Yeah, they were talking about the differences between the composition styles of Paul McCartney and John Lennon in music.
Who are
they? Those two guys are the Beatles. I think they were maybe a little before your time.
Must have been.
Yeah. You remember your grandfather telling me about them, right? Beatlemania.
Oh yeah, okay.
And, they're talking about the sweetness of McCartney and the tartness of Lennon. And, I just had said, Paul McCartney's still alive and he's still composing. And I said, John Lennon's dead and he's mostly decomposing.
Oh,
and there's been a few that have taken offense to that. And I didn't mean it in an offensive way, just in a funny way, in a fire hall way. And that's firefighter humor.
That's right, exactly. Anyhow, this story all started, it was sometime in around May, I would think, because it was still cool outside, and we just finished supper, and we're sitting down to watch the TV, and an alarm came in, report of a working house fire. Anyhow, we jumped on our trucks, and a couple of trucks in the hall going to the same call. There's probably about, I'm thinking about 5 or 6 vehicles responding to this call. We arrive, we come around the corner, and this house is going pretty good. Flames are coming out the windows, and which we don't see that often in this day and age with the smoke detectors. But anyhow, we get there and the guys go in, and the first thing I heard was everybody's out. Mom and dad are on the front lawn. Kids are with
It's always good news.
all the best.
Place,
yeah, absolutely the best, because we want to make sure everybody's out. Anyhow, so now it's just a matter of putting the house fire out, but it isn't. We still haven't got a cat. We've got a pet cat missing. Anyways, the guys, they did a great job. They got the fire extinguished and took a beating. But anyhow, we started looking for this cat. We found the cat.
They took a beating. What about the cat?
Huh?
What about the cat?
Well, the cat, we found it.
Yeah, did it take a beating?
Oh, it took a hell of a beating.
Yeah.
Anyhow, we bring the cat out front. And we had just been donated from some, I think, the Humane Society, whatever, gave us oxygen masks, and we started CPR and doing mask stuff on the.
They were
animals.
sort of conical with oxygen coming in inside.
Yeah, with the nostrils or the nose and the snout and what have you. Anyways,
Tough to be confused to a sex aid, but
no, you wouldn't get it.
okay.
Anyhow,
I'm going to throw you off.
we bring this cat out, and the kids are all excited. They see the cat, but the cat's unconscious, but it's still breathing. So we put the cat down, we start doing CPR and giving it oxygen. And if the cat doesn't come back, I mean, it's alive and awake. And anyways, scared, skinny. And so anyways, we got the cat all cleaned up. It's all sooty all over the fur and black coming out of its mouth. And we get it all cleaned up and we give it back to the kids. Wow, I tell you, we're the greatest thing ever since sliced bread. And mom and dad are happy. They got their pet cat. The kids are happy. They got their cat. Everybody's happy. They got firefighters up here on this pedestal way up high. Anyhow, we can't do anything wrong.
Nice place to be.
Nice place to be. Anyways, we get in the truck and it's time to go. And anyways, they're all waving. The kids are on the front lawn holding the cat. Mom and dad are waving. Thank you, firefighters. You guys are beautiful. We love you guys. You guys are underpaid, blah, blah, blah. And we go and drive away, and I just went doo-doo like that with the air horn just to say goodbye to them. Well, with that, all that cat needed was to hear that air horn. That cat jumped out of the girl's arms, ran under the back wheel of the pumper, and all I could feel was a zoom, zoom like that. And the captain looked at me, and I looked at the captain. The captain said, "Is that the cat?" And I looked in the mirror, and I said, "Yeah, keep going."
Hey, Doug, I was just thinking, you sort of had a history of doing that, haven't you? Driving off pets?
Driving off, pets?
Yeah. Isn't there a parrot or something like that?
That's another story. That's another story for another time, Bob.
Oh, well, anyways, we'll look forward to hearing the story about Doug and his parrot and how he managed to drive that away and free it back into the wilderness where it flew.
Yeah, exactly.
But I've got a story for you. I had just started, and this was in July, so I'd been on about 3 months. And it was a beautiful summer day, man. I remember it was just a lovely day. We're on the second floor of the fire station. The windows are open, and
Birds are quacking.
Yeah, it was just wonderful. And all of a sudden, the alarm come in, and it came down, go to such and such a street, man on fire. And we thought, man on fire? Like, I've only been on a few
That's
months.
how the alarm came in?
Yeah, man on fire.
God.
But I looked at the veterans, and they were sort of all looking at that. But I dispatched Engine 1. And the city I worked for had 10 districts, and each district had a pump which had hose and a pump on it. And a few of the districts had ladder trucks, which had ladders on top, and a couple had rescue units. So what would happen is if they did a general alarm, 2 trucks would come from different directions to the spot, plus the closest ladder truck, plus the closest rescue unit, and supervisor, chief's car. So this one came in as a single alarm. It came in Engine 1.
Man on fire.
Man on fire. And I was on Engine 1. So we slid down the pole, hopped on the truck, and went out to the area. And as we turned onto the street, we looked down the street, and there were people sort of lined on the street, and they're all going like this and, sort of wondering what was going on. And we looked down a little ways of 3 or 4 houses, and there was a bunch of people standing looking up a driveway. So as we went down, we noticed this melted gas can on a front lawn and a puddle of fire, and the fire had sort of spread out a little bit. So we went up to the group of people on the driveway, and the captain asked them, he said, what's going on? They said, well, this guy came down the street, poured some gas over himself, set himself on fire up the lawn there. He ran down here.
Big mistake.
Yeah, he went up the driveway, and then he went across the back lawn and jumped the fence, all on fire and aflame. Like the flames are coming off him. He's trying to run away from the heat, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it runs past down the other back lawn and down their driveway, and then turn left, and that's as far as they could take us. So we hopped back on the truck and went around the block and looked up the street, and there was another group of people standing there. So we went up to them, and they were looking at this guy that was sort of laying there smoldering on a set of cement steps.
You still alive?
Still alive. We got off, and he was talking to us. He was answering questions. He gave us his name. And the ambulance people were coming, and they weren't very, very far behind us. So we just put a sterile blanket over him and poured sterile water on the blanket, because sometimes the refrigeration effect of the wind over the cloth will actually cool the wound and make it feel better. And as we're there, the ambulance came. So they came and they did their thing, and we helped them with that. We helped them load them onto the stretcher and then take them out to the road to load them onto the ambulance. So all this time, this grizzled veteran and I, we've been, side by side. We've been talking to him. We first went to him together. We first went back to the truck together. We went back to him. We treated him together. We were standing one on each side. So as we're standing there behind the truck watching this ambulance go off into the sunset, down this old road with the dust flying and into the sunset, the earth, curvature of the earth when it's going over and down.
Fucking lose it.
And anyways, we're watching that, and this grizzled old veteran looks over at me and says, you know, he stopped right there. And I could figure that out because I was there the whole time, and I know he didn't say anything. And I said, no, why? He says, ran out of gas. You know, like I should know that I'm stupid, right? So, yeah, I knew right then and there that I was, you know, in the right profession for a firefighter because
that's a perfect example of firefighter humor.
yeah, that was funny, you know, and so we're going to be coming back with these stories, and some of them will be funny, and some of them may not be so funny. And in the future, we hope to bring on guests, but we'd like to sort of preserve these stories a little bit so that when we're gone, they live on, and the next generation of firefighters are making their own stories. So we hope this carries on. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.